It's now time for Me and My Roku with your host, Peter Clay.
Paramount, the Peacock.
Incidentally, this is Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
More CEOs named Peter.
Peter Clay is here today. Holy crap, it's Peter.
Oh, I love Peter. Pete, are you able to say something nice?
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another outstanding, thought-provoking, and mounted edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Well, I'm back. Maybe about a day or so later than I would normally come out with a podcast, and I know you were thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, here he goes, taking another month off and all that stuff. Well, I had a little 24-hour delay because I just wanted to wait 1 minute because today was the big day. This is only like the fourth or fifth day in the last year where I got up first thing in the morning, as early as I could, like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and went right to my phone and looked up and here we go. Because today was the big day, the rebranding of CBS All Access to the now Paramount Plus. Oh gosh, yes. Not since Peacock have I been this excited. And that was a whole cluster because I don't think it was available on the Roku right away. Same with HBO Max. So now that's 2 times in a row now with Discovery Plus and now Paramount Plus. Boom, right off the bat, Roku, everything. Oh, such excitement. It's days like this that's worth living and then podcasting about. Here to share with you. That's what I do here. In case you're new to this whole outfit here and this podcast, I'm your host, Peter Clay. I come here in my little corner office, in my little room here, my little office here, and I come back and share ideas that I come up with in my streaming devices, okay? Now, the show is Me and My Roku, but let's say, in all honesty, in all fairness, let's not be tribal here, okay? As long as you're doing what you want to do, okay? I just show you what I do, and hopefully that inspires you. So if you want to use a Roku, go for it. You want to use the Fire TV? Here, let me give you an example here. I had lunch yesterday then when I could have been doing a podcast like I normally would. So I had lunch with some friends. We hadn't seen them in a while. And they were telling us their adventures of now this weekend is going to be the big weekend for them. Now they're retired and they got lots of things going on and all that stuff. But they're having their son come over and they're cutting the cord. Oh, he's coming over. And they told me that he was coming in and giving them a Fire Stick. Now, you would think, me, host of Me and My Roku, that I would take the table from right there, flip it over, and go, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. Nope. As long as you're doing what you want to do, and they're giving it a go, they're taking the leap. That was the very first episode of this podcast. Take the leap. And that's what they're doing, and I'm excited for them. And I gave them some suggestions along the way and all that stuff, and trying not to confuse them and all that stuff, because they're going to have a lot on their plate for the next week or so. And it's okay. As long as you do what you want to do, and that's what I come up here. I tell you what I do, and hopefully that makes it easier for you. It's like, okay, I can breathe. And then you realize when you cut the cord and you take that leap, there's more to it than just Netflix. A lot of these things they got already. They got Amazon Prime already, so it's really not that much of a leap for them because they've already had that interface and all that stuff. So I agreed with that move on there. We'll get them into a Roku later, but that's okay. Or maybe we'll get them a Roku. They can try it out in another room on the other TV and all that stuff. We'll try everything out. So that's the game plan here. I'm not sponsored, endorsed, or anything like that. I get nothing from Roku whatsoever. Just a good pat on the back saying thanks for the plug and all that stuff. And everything else is just all on you. So we got the big news of Paramount Plus. We got some other things to get to here. So let's get started.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Okay, so Paramount Plus is here. CBS All Access is no more. It has been rebranded into the fold of Paramount Plus. The whole CBS Viacom merger, reunion is complete. And now there is a force to be reckoned with in the streaming world with a combination forces of Viacom and CBS into one Paramount Plus. Well, what's changed? If you had CBS All Access already, you're in pretty good shape. You really didn't have to do anything. And if you were on the limited commercials program, Not much is changing right now for you. There is a cheaper package of $1 less of the new Paramount Plus for $4.99 with limited commercials, but you lose live sports like the Champions League, and you lose your access to your local live feed of your CBS station. So that's important to you. Either stay where you're at right now, don't do anything, or move up to the $9.99 plan, which is just like what CBS All Access said. They announced these prices last week as if this was like a brand new service and all that stuff. And all this is a culmination of all the different things in the CBS Viacom tree. The layout is just a little better because it's not just focused on CBS right now. So your first thing that you see is either SpongeBob or, Real Housewives. But then you get CBS, BET, Comedy Central, MTV, something else, and Smithsonian. Maybe I got everything there. Maybe I missed something, but you get the gist. You get a whole bunch of stuff that's laid out. The layout is a little funky. It's not very Netflixy. But if there's something that you're looking for specifically, you should be able to find it along the left side of the menu. Then they kind of break things down just a little bit for you, and there is a search function. So if you were on CBS All Access and you had shows that you were watching, they're all still there for you. Now, me, because I'm crazy, a little weird, I had to change things up just a little bit. I was threatening to do this on the last podcast. I mentioned this. I've been on a CBS All Access Showtime package through Apple TV. And I was able to use my Apple credits, and I was getting a 2-for-1 deal. And great deal, actually. Thank you, Apple, for providing that, and CBS All Access and Viacom for having that offer available. I was coming up on my billing on that, and I was kind of hoping that I could still use my Apple credits for Paramount Plus, but it seemed like when I was doing it on my iPad this morning that it wanted to, but then it would lock up. So I went to Safari on my Mac, and no, they didn't do that, but I was able to use PayPal, which is my second best thing there. So like I said, the money doesn't come out of my personal account. It's all the things I've saved up through all the crazy things that I do on the side that you don't really care about. But that's okay. So for you, personally, nothing really changes for you. It all depends on you and your budget, how you want to do these things. The options are there for you. So pretty good service. Interested in it for what I've seen so far. And the quality is fantastic. The shows look amazing, especially some of the Smithsonian ones. But I was watching Star Trek Below Decks, and fantastic. Either if it's not 4K, it's real super duper close. It looks really good. So all the Star Trek is in one corner for you to find easily. There's classic TV, and then like I said, the layout of all the different channels and all that stuff. So, wow, not since Peacock has come out am I this excited about something. So, will I hold on to it forever? Like with the shows that we watch on CBS, will we watch these throughout like the summer when our shows end? We'll see. There's a lot there to actually entice you to keep watching on some of the stuff, but we'll see what billing is like and what the budget is like. But it's pretty interesting. Is it Discovery Plus-ish? Which I gave, I believe, an A+ when it came out. For launch, I'd have to say this was pretty smooth if you were already on CBS All Access. You really didn't have to do anything. If you're coming aboard now for the first time, I don't think the sign-in process is that hard. It was a little work for me just because I was changing things around from one billing outfit to another, but it was fine. I got over it. I'm a big boy. I put on my big boy pants and took it like a man. So it's there for you if you want these programs. If you have kids, there's stuff there from the Nickelodeon. I think that might have been the one I missed earlier. It's there for you. And I think, if you need stuff to rot your brain that's not Netflix, it's there for you. It's up to you. So here it is, folks. Paramount Plus is here, just like we're here for you here on Me and My Roku. Okay, this is probably worth talking about. If you remember last episode, I don't think we need the harp music in the woo as we go back in time 1 week ago. I kind of poo-pooed Cord Killer's Tom Merritt assumption that the Roku is a advertising company or an ad company. I merely stated that Roku's got a lot of things going for it. It's hardware, it's software, it's licensing, and it's ads. And if you look at their balance sheet and all that stuff, you will say that a majority of their revenue now is coming from advertising. But does that necessarily equal 1 + 1 = 2 on that, does this and that equal that type of thing? So Roku's got a lot on its plate, it's got a lot going on, and it's trying to be a leader in these things. And whatever it is, it wants to be a leader in the hardware, it wants to be a leader in the licensing, and when you get a new smart TV, they want Roku on there and all that stuff. So lots of things going on. Well, to prove Tom's point a little bit, Roku has agreed to acquire Nielsen. You know them, they do all the ratings. So they're going to acquire Nielsen Holdings PLCs. What does that mean? Okay, so they're acquiring the advanced video advertising business and also the video automatic content recognition. Okay, and dynamic ad insertion technologies. Okay, so they're getting a bundle of things and then also working in conjunction with Nielsen of how to complement Nielsen's ads and content measurements on Roku's. So, wow, a lot going on there. So, a lot of things going on with people in ads and privacy and all that stuff. What does this mean? Is they tracking everything that I watch and do anything? The answer has probably been doing that all along. Now, should you get the Roku for free then if you're getting all these ads and all that stuff, or lower priced or something along those lines? Who knows? But I think, personally, these are the things that make your viewing better. That the more ads they can get, the more they can generate from that, and the more quality content that is, I think it helps the process along. So this is Roku putting a stake in the ground, saying, hey, we're here for the long haul. Like I said, when I started this podcast 10, 11 years ago, whenever it was, I thought this was just for the Internet Archive. I did 8 episodes to start and didn't do it again for another decade until I came back here because it's still here. It plans to be here for the next, 10 years or beyond. Who knows? So this is a big deal. Does it necessarily mean, again, that they're squarely an ad company? I'd say no. This is just another part of the diversification of their whole units and all that stuff. And so if they're going to pivot to something from hardware to licensing to software and all that stuff, to have all these things, to have all these different eggs, and it's not just in one basket, that's probably a good thing, is taking that stuff from Nielsen to Roku, and then they work hand in hand together. Probably a good thing. I've always questioned Nielsen's ratings throughout the years and all that stuff, but probably better them than probably anyone else, and probably that's better in Roku's hands. So, whew. We'll see what this all means, but it just means that we got more coming for our Rokus here on Me and My Roku. Okay, kids, gather around. Not so close that we have to get a little concerned. Even though things are getting a little better, we're almost there. Let's come a little closer just so we can come on, have a little chit-chat, and discuss some things. Because a crazy video went viral last month. Fascinating thing where a person shown scanning a book got almost 24 million views through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Yes, that was a video of Eliza of the Internet Archive as she manually scans a book. That's why these things are so important. And I just want to bring that to your attention, just to know that all the different things that are going on, and you can experience them today at archive.org, the keepers of the Internet Archive. Not only do they provide the bandwidth of this podcast, and has since 2005, they are constantly and painstakingly manually scanning books, preserving as much as they can. They don't want to take off the bindings. They want to preserve the book as much as possible, the physical book itself, plus digitize it so it remains in the archive for as long as it can, and it can with your support. So check them out today at archive.org and give whatever you feel that you are comfortable with, or please check it out and all the information that's available to you, including this great podcast. So with that, now, like I said earlier, I'm crazy. I'm nuts. I'm insane. I do these crazy things that are going on in the background all the time that pay me in gift cards so that I can watch these fabulous programs and then I can share them with you. Now, do you have to do that? No, you don't have to be crazy like me, but hello, you can take advantage of these things for yourself. And I'll just give you one of them. Just one of them. There's about 3, 4, 5, 10, 12. I don't know. Who cares? Who counts these days? But whatever it takes is the key. So it starts with one. Okay, the first, to make giant leaps towards things begins with the first step. And for me, that was at swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. Check that out today, and then you get started right off the bat. You're halfway there. You're all set up right there. You're already helping me. You're helping you, and you're helping them and all that stuff. So check it out today, swagbucks.radioaffliction.com, and check out that video of Eliza scanning that book as she digitizes, how she does page after page and doesn't hurt herself, doesn't anything. Hopefully she's listening to music or something like that. But hey, check the video out for yourself. Check that out today at archive.org. Okay, news and notes. And this was a story from last week, and I missed it, and I almost feel bad about it. I almost feel like I should apologize. But instead, I'll just bring it up today. The WWE and the WWE Network will actually now become part of Peacock. Yes, more than 17,000 hours of new, original, and library programming from the WWE on demand, and also a 24/7 channel. It's part of the grid on Peacock. Will be available to you starting March 18th, just a couple weeks away. I believe. Now, don't quote me on this part here now. What I just told you there is true. It's in black and white. It's in paper right here. That the WWE Network app available on your Roku is going to dissolve, and you will just become part of Peacock. And if you're on the $9.99 plan on the WWE Network, you get the $9.99 Peacock Premium type of thing. I believe that. Check that out for yourself. Check your local listings for programming. But from $4.99 part of Peacock on up, you get WWE Network. Now, about 40 years ago is when I got out of the wrestling addiction type of thing. I found it mildly entertaining at one point. Maybe even thought it was real. I don't know. But yeah, it's been a long time since that. But does that mean on a crazy night and there's nothing else on, and I'm done watching everything on Paramount Plus, might switch over to Peacock? Are you like us? We're kind of coming up with names for these things. Now, there's a kind of inappropriate name for Peacock, but they kind of set it up for themselves. Brian Brushwood started it, and we just kind of went on with it here, and so, but yeah, we got Mount and we got Peacock. Anyway, so yes, 1.5 million paid subscribers to the WWE Network, and that's now all going to Peacock Premium in the $4.99 package. And if you want commercial-free programming, remember Peacock Premium Plus, because we get their plus in there. That's available for $9.99 if you need wrestling. HBO Max is planning a less expensive ad-supported version of its streaming service. No details just yet on what the price is going to be on that. Just less than the $14.99 they're charging right now. Kind of a premium price in that Netflix range, but the numbers suggest that since they've been on Roku, of course, the pandemic too. But, and I'm, what I always thought that my HBO needed was commercials. But they're trying to please everyone, and we can't support them on that, I guess. I'm not looking forward to this. I don't know when. They just said in the future. Maybe later this year. Maybe next year. Maybe never. Who knows? But that's the thought right now. The one thing that you got HBO for was no commercials, but now commercials available. And you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit, because a lot of these things, I did not check Paramount Plus on this because I get the ad free. But seriously, the $4.99 Peacock, the ads are like never more than a minute. I mean, a minute or less. So it hasn't been. Now that may change if they keep getting more popular, and maybe once they get onto Amazon, maybe we'll see different things on that. So far, so good on that. So HBO Max planning an ad-supported version of their tier. Good luck on that. MLB TV. Talked about it last week, but how they'll be available through T-Mobile. Once again, will also be available as an add-on on YouTube TV. Hooray! Now, that's a good thing for YouTube TV, because as you recall, all these streaming services, Fubo, Hulu Live, and YouTube TV, have dropped regional sports networks. Now, the catch with MLB TV is your local team is blacked out. So where I am here, the Milwaukee Brewers are blacked out. If you're in Las Vegas, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Colorado Rockies, the Oakland A's, and the San Francisco Giants are blocked out. If you're in Dallas, Texas, the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. You get the drift. If you're in those, your local team will be blacked out on that. So be mindful of that before you jump on that add-on of MLB TV on your YouTube TV, thinking you're going to get your Milwaukee Brewers when you live in West Dallas, and they'll be blacked out. You're stuck with the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Thankfully, we're not in like Las Vegas about that, where all those would be blacked out if we were in Vegas. But anyway, now our clickbait headline of the week. News survey suggests that 61% of people would rather watch movies at home than in a movie theater. Sure. It depends who you're asking. If you're asking a bunch of cord cutters, I'd say that number would probably be a little higher, actually. So I'm actually a little surprised it's that low. Also asked if whether services like Netflix and Hulu made movie theaters obsolete. 49 of those people said yes. Food for thought there. Well, folks, I'm getting a little itchy, a little twitchy. I gotta get back to my Paramount Plus and my Roku. Maybe even get some Peacock after that. Or YouTube TV or YouTube or anything like that. I don't have YouTube TV anymore. I can dream about it someday. Again, I'll get it again. If you like more updates on all the other things that I'm going through right now, check out meandmyroku.com. If you want more information of how I get gift cards for streaming, like I do here, so it doesn't come out of my pocket, you can get started yourself. swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. Let me try it one more time. swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. Check that out. Get yourself started on that. Once again, thank you to archive.org for their support and providing the bandwidth of this podcast and all of the podcasts that I have done since 2005. Another way you can help support this program is please subscribe. I'm liking the numbers I'm seeing, but we can do better. Tell your friend. And they ask you, well, how do I subscribe? Where do I go? Well, this guy's got a list here. You ready? Here we go. You can subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Ghana, JioSaavn, Himalaya, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartMedia, Podbean, Pandora, and Radio.com. And if you need personal one-on-one little communication here, you can email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction and on Instagram at Pierre Argyle. Hey, you know what? I hope you're enjoying you and your Roku, or whatever device that you love so much. Hope you're enjoying that as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll be back with you real soon.